Hello everyone, and welcome to Michad's Shooting Bench and the review of the Sig-Sauer P226 9mm pistol. This particular pistol is chambered in 9mm parabellum. It's a double stack. It holds 15 rounds. As you can see there, it's chambered, it says right on the barrel hood, chambered in 9mm parabellum. And it's a P226, and it says it's made in W, Germany. This particular gun was made in the early 1990s, 1990 I believe, shortly after the Berlin Wall fell in 1989. And also you can see here it says Sig Arms, Herndon, Virginia. So I believe that was Sig's importer back then. Nowadays if you get a Sig-Sauer it'll say Sig Arms, Exeter, New Hampshire. But this is a traditional double action, single action design. It has a decock lever here. It has no manual safety like you would see on the 1911 or of similar guns. Like the Beretta has a safety up here on the slide, but for some people that can be difficult to manipulate, especially if they have smaller hands. This doesn't have a safety. The only really safety feature is the fairly hefty double action trigger pull. It's really a long double action trigger pull. So let's make sure the gun is clear. The magazine's empty. And we'll lock back the slide here. Chamber is empty and the mag well is clear. So as you can see, the hammer got cocked back there. Now, with guns like the 1911, to decock the gun, you're supposed to carry the 1911 with the hammer back and the manual safety on. Well, this doesn't have a manual safety, and you shouldn't carry it like this. But you can't really do that like you would with a 1911 to slowly drop the hammer, because what happens is there's nothing preventing that hammer from going forward and striking the firing pin. So as you'll notice, if I let go of that trigger, I can no longer push it forward. So when the trigger's all the way back, it allows the hammer to go all the way forward. The decocker serves the purpose of, we'll say, after you fired your first shot from the holster, it's a double action pull, and then the slide goes back, and the hammer's cocked again. We'll say you don't want to fire again. You don't want to release that by doing the pull the trigger and drop the hammer with your thumb, because you could accidentally fire around. The decock lever allows you to drop that hammer safely without it going all the way forward. See, I cannot push that any further forward. So that really allows you an extra margin of safety there. So if you have the gun cocked, you want to decock it, you just use that decocker lever, the gun will not go off, and that'll be it. So also it has a push button magazine release right there. The mags fall free, so holds 15 rounds. The locking system is like a Browning style locking system like you'll see on the Browning High Power, whereas the front edge of the barrel hood locks up against the front edge of the chamber cutaway in the slide. So as I bring that slide back, you'll see it drop down and unlock, and then actually the barrel will drop down and allow the slide to run over it to, you know, extract the spent case and put a new one in. So you can see that drop down. See how it locks up as it comes back into battery. So let's take the gun apart. The good part about this gun is the fact that it's really easily broken down. You just lock the slide back, you turn that lever, and you slowly can bring that slide off the front end. So then you have Sig's patented, or not patented, but they use a double braid spring with a guide rod, which makes the spring really, really durable. And then you can just take the barrel out just like that. Then you have your slide and your frame assembly. Now on the slide here, it has another safety feature. See this little button? Well, when the hammer falls, it strikes that little circular button, and that makes the firing pin go forward and set the round off. Well, unless you're pulling the trigger, this little button here is not pushed up. If that button is not pushed up, the firing pin cannot go forward far enough to strike the cartridge and set off the round. So that ensures that the trigger is being pulled intentionally to set the round off. When you pull the trigger, a little arm comes up, pushes that up, and deactivates the safety just before the hammer falls and sets the round off. So there you can see the breech face with the firing pin hole and the extractor over there. And then if you go to the frame here, you can actually see you have the ejector, that's what pushes on the left hand side of the back of the cartridge case and kicks it out of the gun when it fires. Now here's the locking system. If you can see that piece of metal on the bottom, this little nub here, it's called a lug, and that interfaces with the frame and affords your locking system. So that interfaces that way, and the barrel stays there, and then when the slide goes back, the barrel unlocks and tilts and allows you to eject the spent cartridge case and put a new one in. You can see there's a feed ramp. It's built right onto the barrel there, and it mates up with the thing in the slide, in the frame rather. You can actually see the rifling down there in the barrel, and really a sturdy barrel. And then if you look here, there's also, this is the slide catch, the slide stop. So what happens is, this thing is called the follower. That's what holds the bullets. If you have a bullet in there, the follower won't pop the slide stop up. But when you have the follower comes up, it actually causes that slide stop to come up and stop the slide from going forward on the last round, and causes the slide to lock back. So when you don't have that in there, it won't lock back, and when you do, it will. That is the Sig-Sauer P226 9mm pistol, and we'll see if we can't get it back together. We'll slide the barrel in there, lock that back up, take the spring and push it in there and jam it up against the front end of that barrel, and then mate this back up with the slide rails. Lock that back, flip the switch, and there you go. There it is. And we use the decocker, and also the gun has some really good sights. It's kind of a post and a dot, so you sort of put them one on top of another, and really good sights. This is a very accurate gun, and so all in all, a great 9mm pistol. They're still making them today, and you really can't go wrong with it. I've never had this gun jam up on me, and very accurate. So I highly recommend it. The Sig-Sauer P226 9mm pistol. Thank you for watching.